Good morning, everybody. Today is April 25th, 2022. Our fourth session of the class. Yes, fourth session, fourth class. BMN 504. I hope everything is clear now. So we've completed 3 classes and this is the fourth one. So by now you are on track. So we have been looking at the some of the basic teachings of the Buddha in Buddhism. And last time we were talking about the 4 noble truths and how these truths are considered to be noble. And today we are focusing on another basic teachings of Buddhism. Actually, it is the 4th noble truth. Last time we were talking about the 4 noble truths, and the last one is unique to Buddhism because it shows the path, the way leading to the cessation of suffering, or path leading to liberation. So this is unique because the Buddha was able to discover this path, and he declared it open to his followers. So in that sense, Buddha, he is a teacher, discoverer of the truth and proclaimer of the truth. He discovered it and he then opens it to the humanity. So, and that will be our topic today, and it's called Noble Eightfold Path. As the word suggests, eightfold, so it has 8 limbs or 8 steps. Even though they are steps, if I use the word, you may use the word steps, but they are not in a steps in a ladder, no. There are eight components. Components is the best word, I think. 8 components of the path. So this path, the path leading to the cessation of suffering, or the path leading to the end of suffering, it contains 8 steps. I'm using the wrong word. 8 parts. That is because in order to be able to understand it clearly, or as a method of educating others, the whole path is mapped out in 8 parts. Don't ever think that these 8 parts you have to complete one at a time, and that you have to go to the next one and the next, and that so on and so forth. No, this is like, first you have to have the understanding that noble eightfold path. We did not name them. In the future, I mean, very soon we will do it, but for the time being, you have to understand that this concept, this noble eightfold path, whatever it is like a, let's say, it's like a rope. You know how a rope is made. It has little small strands mingled together. If you disentangle them, small strands. So all those together is called rope. So even though the smallest strand is, maybe somebody might say it is unimportant, no, when they come together, it becomes the rope. it becomes the rope, right? So every little part plays its own role to make it a rope. In the same way, these Noble Eightfold steps, Noble Eightfold paths are significantly important. They all are unitedly important for the final goal. Final goal means the end of suffering. To achieve the end of suffering or the liberation, these eightfold steps are really, really important. And the idea is that you are not climbing on a ladder. Okay, the first step and the second step, the third step. No, not in that way. Collectively, they work together. But in order to understand it, the purpose of presenting this as 8 steps is because it's easier for anybody to understand that way. That's why it's presented as eightfold path. Okay, and Noble Eightfold Path, and the topic today is that one, and then Nirvana. The Nirvana is the you know the word already. Nirvana in Sanskrit language. In Pali, it's called Nibbana. Same word, same thing. We usually translate it as enlightenment. Enlightenment or cessation of suffering, liberation, salvation. You may use any of those words, but it is Nirvana. Anyway, so Nirvana is, so the idea is this: Nirvana is attained by following this eightfold path. So in order to attain that status, Nirvana, whatever that is, you have to follow this path. You have to tread on this path to reach that status, whatever it is. we will discuss it. So this is what the topic is today. And now let us see what these Noble Eightfold steps are. The very first one is, I'm not using the Pali words because you are new to this thing. If I use Pali terms, you will get disappointed. So let me use the English words, okay? First step is right view. Right view. If you want to use the Pali term, Samma Ditti. Samma means right, correct. Ditti means the view. You have to have a correct view before you step on this path. It is just like, say, for instance, you want to go to a destination. You are going to drive to a certain destination here in California, let's say. Let's say we are driving to San Francisco from Los Angeles. So your path is from Los Angeles to San Francisco. It's just like the Noble Eightfold Path. From suffering to Nirvana, you are trying to go from suffering to Nirvana, right? So before you step on the path, you need to have a map. Map in the sense that you need to know what roads, what path you are going to follow. You know that San Francisco could be reached by many different ways. But what way that I am going to use, what path I am going to use, you have to have a good, correct, right view. That is, I'm just giving you an example. That kind of scenario in this situation. You have to have the right view before you, excuse me, before you walk on the path. So right view. in Buddhism, usually it is explained as you have to accept that life is suffering. As I told the other day, life is suffering. Life is dissatisfaction. Life has dissatisfaction. And then there is a cause for dissatisfaction. And there is a way out of this suffering. And there should be the path. There is a path leading to the cessation of suffering. So you need to understand at the very outset that there is these noble truths. You have to have a clear understanding. That is called right view. And then after that, you need to have right intention. On the path, one of the good things that you need to develop is good intention. You know, intention is the right thought. Right thought. You have to have good thoughts, wholesome intention. We usually, our thoughts or our intentions are not good, and then the things that follow might not be good. The results might not be good. So then that's why in Buddhism it teaches that your intentions has to be harmlessness, one of harmlessness, and not harming oneself and the others. And your intentions should be generous. You have to be generous concerning yourself and the others. You have to be generous, practicing generousness. And then you have to have non-ill will. You have to have like, I'm not having jealous or sort of crude ideas. Intention has to be pure. These type of things. So you have to have the right intention. If your intention is wrong, then everything else will be followed by wrong results. So intention has to be very, very clean or right. So in the Buddhist term, in the Noble Eightfold Path, we use the word right intention, samma sankappa. And then then comes the, this is just the order that is being presented. Don't believe that you have to start from right view and then good intentions, right intentions, and then only we would go to the other one. No, that's not the idea. This is just the presentation as it is presented. The next one is samma vacha. Samma vacha means right speech. Vacha means speech. So on the path, if you are on the path, Buddha says that you have to be using right speech. When I say right speech, it means that you have to be away from false speech, not lying, false speech, okay? And then you have to be away from, harshful speech. Harshful means using the, words, very rude words. We do sometimes, right? So be away from those rude things. And then instead use the pleasant words, pleasant speech. And then sometimes we have idle talk, useless talk, garrulous, not without any aim. We just keep talking, and that is called idle. It doesn't benefit you or the other party. Just idle talk. Most of the time we do that thing. So if you are following the Buddhist path, be mindful that your speech is not idle chatter or idle talk, idle speech. Refrain from those things. So, and then the false speech, garrulous or idle talk, and then the words that cause harmony, disharmony among others, like you use what do you call it? You use the language, you use word in order to create division between two people, two groups. Sometimes you do like that, huh? So refrain from those things. There's a word for that. I forget that word. Parusavacha Pisuna. In Pali, it's called Pisunavacha. Pisunavacha means the words that you use to cause divisions between two groups. English word I don't remember right now. If I remember, I will tell you. Okay, that kind of speech. So, and this you have to be away from these things. Your speech has to be right. That's why it's called right speech. If it is right speech, it should benefit you as well as the other party. If all the time, if you use the right speech, then you are on the path leading to the cessation of suffering, refraining from all kinds of bad speech. And the next one is right action. Right action means you have to be refraining from, killing, causing, destroying the lives, harming others' life. In the 5 precepts, the very first one is abstaining from killing. So right action is that you have to be away from killing living beings, living things. And then the second one is, second one that belongs to right action is be away from stealing, or not taking what is not given to you. If you take something that is not given to you, then that is called stealing, right? So refrain from stealing. And the third one in that category is that you have to be away from sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct means that you have to be happy with whatever wife or husband that you have, not engaging in sexual misconduct. And that's the third one. And the fourth one is refraining from intoxicants, alcohol and drugs and things like that. So those 4 things are the good. I mean, if you refrain from those bad things, then that is called right action. So right now we are talking about the virtuous, moral part. When you use good, pleasant, pleasing words, your speech is right. That means you are morally good. And if your actions are good, all your actions are right, then you are moral behavior is good. And then the other one is, other component of the path is right livelihood. Right livelihood is that you have to earn your life. You have to make your earnings through right means. You cannot do the bad things and earn your living. When I say the word bad things, it means that you cannot engage in selling animals, human trade, things happen like that. Human trade, or maybe doing business with like arms, selling arms, trading in arms and ammunition, no. And also selling intoxicants, liquor and drugs and things like that. Those, if you earn your life, earn your living through these ones, then that is not right, a right livelihood. Right livelihood is that you have to make your living by righteous means. Those things are dealing with drugs and alcohol and arms and selling animals and things like that, and maybe selling harmful things. Those are considered to be bad, and be away from them. Then you are earning your living through right livelihood. You have to engage in a profession that is not harmful to others. That is the idea. You have to make your living through harmless professions. So there are many professions in today's world that are not harmful to you as well as others. And these, the things that we were talking just now, like dealing with drugs and intoxicants and selling arms and trading with those things, and also selling, what you call the slave trade. You trade people, human beings, just like animals. That is not right. So be away from those things. Then you are making your life pure, a righteous life, righteous living. So those things, right livelihood. So these three steps, these three means now the first two is like right view, right intention, right? Right view and right intention. And the next three, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. These three things, right speech, right livelihood, and right action. These three things are concerned with your moral behavior. Think about it. The things that I was talking. All these things are related to moral life, right? No dealings with bad things, no bad speech, and no bad actions. So moral behavior, virtue, in other words, virtuous behavior. All those three steps related to the moral behavior. And the last three then, now 3 plus the first two are 5, and then the last three steps are a right effort. You have to have right effort. What is right effort? In the Noble Eightfold Path, it says that you have to have effort to be away from the bad things that you haven't done. If you have done some, if try not to be doing bad things, unwholesome things, and try to get rid of the bad things that you have already done. You have to put effort to stop the bad things that you have been doing. So not to do new bad things. And then the other one is try to stop the bad things that you have been doing. That's two. And the third one is try to do good things that you have never done. Effort to engage in wholesome deeds that you have never done so far. In your life, in our life, we have things that we have never done, good things that we have never done yet. So you have to have effort to do those kind of things. And the other one is, you have been doing good things in your life so far. So try to increase them. Try to develop them. So on good side and bad side, one thing is that you should be away from the bad things that you have been doing. And on the wholesome side, you have to have effort to increase the good things that you have been doing. And the other thing is, you should not be doing bad things that you have never done in your life. And on this side, you should try to do good things, wholesome things that you have never done in your life. So right effort is like 4 types of strive. You are striving hard. You are putting your effort to achieve these things in life. So wholesomeness, to bring in wholesomeness into your life and to get rid of unwholesomeness from your life. There should be effort for that thing. Effort to gain good and effort to get rid of the bad. That is the idea. So right effort. And then the next one is right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is also something like that. This is kind of meditation now. Now we are talking about meditation, concentration. Mindfulness, you know the word, it is meditation. So when you are on the path, you have to have the right mindfulness to live in the present moment, not to think about the past or the future. Live in the present moment with right mindfulness. And the last one is right concentration. That is mainly meditation. Concentration. You have to concentrate your mind. This is the higher level. Concentration of your mind on your body, and then on your feelings, on your thoughts, and everything in the world, Dhamma. So contemplation on those things, concentration and contemplation. So these are the last 3 steps: right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. These 3 constitute together is called concentration part. So now, if you divide the Noble Eightfold Path into 3 categories, in order for you to understand it better or easier, the first 2 steps gives you wisdom. Without wisdom, you cannot have right view and right intention. That is wisdom. You have to develop wisdom on the path, right? And the second, I gave you 3 steps, like right speech, right action, and right livelihood. That is moral behavior or virtue. So you need wisdom. The other one is virtue, moral behavior, good moral behavior. And the last 3, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Those 3 constitute the concentration part. Okay, the meditation part. So all these things together is called Noble Eightfold Path, or the path leading to the cessation of suffering. If you follow this path, only you can be you can be free from suffering. That is the Buddhist logic, Buddhist understanding. So that is what Noble Eightfold Path is. And then I put another word, nirvana. Yeah, I mentioned earlier. Nirvana is the end result of following this path. If you follow this path, then you should be able to attain that higher state called nirvana. Nirvana is the cessation of suffering. As I told you the other day, human life is full of suffering, full of dissatisfactions. And then to be away from that dissatisfaction, you need to have the state of nirvana. So nirvana is not something that you find outside of this world. It is right here within me, but you have to attain that level, attain that status of mind. It is a state of mind, nirvana. It's not in living in another universe or another world. It is this very life you can attain that state. To attain that state, you have to follow this eightfold path. That is the idea. And that is the end of suffering. So when you look at the Buddha's life, when he attained enlightenment, as you know that he attained so-called nirvana, enlightenment, at the age of 35. And from that time onward, he lived in the world for another 45 years. During that 45 years, he did not live in another world. He lived in this very world, dealing with people like you and me, crazy people. But still, he could maintain the that state of mind, nirvana. That is the beauty. Even though it's usually compared to you know, the lotus flower. Lotus flower is born in the mud, right? Very ugly mud. It rises above the mud, and it rises above the water level, and it blooms so beautifully, right? So nirvana is just like the lotus flower that comes, that erupts from the mud. So that is why the other day I told you suffering has a very good value. If there's no suffering, no nirvana. If there is no mud, ugly mud, no lotus. This is a very beautiful idea in Buddhism. The lotus has to be born in the mud. Okay, so nirvana has to be there in the suffering world, not outside of suffering world. If there is suffering, then there is nirvana too. That is the idea. So nirvana is not, don't ever think that nirvana comes after you die. Usually we say, may you attain nibbana. When somebody dies, we say, may you attain nibbana. It is just like saying that, oh, you have to die to attain nibbana. That's a wrong idea. The correct idea is that you can have freedom from suffering or nirvana right here, right now. That is the beautiful teaching of the Buddha. Right here, right now, you can attain nirvana. So nirvana is the higher state of mind without any blemishes, no greed, no hatred, no lust, no ill will, not those bad things. In that state of mind, not all those bad things. So if you can maintain such a pure mind, pure state of mind, then you are in nirvana. Then you have no suffering. Then you are free from suffering. If you have suffering, you cannot maintain that level of that state of mind. That is the idea. So by following this eightfold path, the Buddha says, Buddhism teaches that the end result of following this path is to attain nirvana, or the release from suffering, freedom from suffering, liberation, salvation, whatever the word you like to use. And that ends today's lecture. So please, if you have any questions, please ask me and read the textbook. In the textbook, you have chapter on Noble Eightfold Path and Nirvana. And also you can do some research online and find more elaborate explanations on these things. Do that research so that you can enhance your understanding. So for now, for today, that is it. And to remind you that next week, May 2nd, will be the midterm examination. So next week, get ready for the midterm examination. So midterm examination will be based on the classes that we already completed. 4 classes. Things we were talking about the last 4 weeks, including today, will be tested in your midterm. So get ready for the midterm next week. In the meantime, you will get the today's homework in the email. So please do that one too. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day.